Hi Sagittarius, Sun, Moon, Ascendant, or Venus. This is Dane, and I am going to be doing your Spirit Guide message reading for you. Now I ask if this reading resonates with you, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. It makes me unbelievably happy, and thank you so much for doing so. Now if you're interested in any of the cards that I'm using, they will all be listed and linked in the description box below. Before we begin this reading, let us clear the energy space, raising our own energy vibrations and releasing any negativity. So take a nice deep breath in, exhaling whenever it feels comfortable for you. Releasing all negativity from the body like storm clouds. Letting yourself feel calm, centered, and at peace as we enter into this safe and loving space. Let's let the bowls sing as we see what the tarot has to say. Sagittarius. Spirit guide message for Sagittarius, Sagittarius. Spirit guide message for Sagittarius, Sagittarius. Spirit guide message for Sagittarius, Sagittarius. Angels and spirit guides, show me clearly. Guide this reading and show me clearly. Angels and spirit guides, angels. And spirit guides, angels. And spirit guides, show me clearly. Guide this reading and show me clearly, angels. And spirit guides, angels, and spirit guides. My goodness. Angels and spirit guides. Fantastic. There we go. Now the left-hand side is the inner self. The middle, the heart, the emotional self. The right-hand side, the public arena, the public self. At the root is our rooted self, what's going to be grounding us during this time. So at our root, we have the 10 of Cups and the Ace of Swords. That's absolutely beautiful. Our inner selves, we have the Chariot and the Page of Cups. So very strong Cancer energy right here. The Chariot represents Cancer. Cancer is a water sign also represented by the Cups. Cancer is a time frame of June 21st to July 22nd. Then we have the 9 of Cups and the Queen of Cups. Again, very strong water sign energy. Pisces, Scorpio, and Cancer. And then we have the 8 of Swords and the 7 of Pentacles. So in the public arena, we feel rather overwhelmed. And there's a sense of getting way too much in our own heads, and we have to be patient for the payoff to come. But that's going to be something that we're not going to be good at. We're not going to be good at seeing kind of like the tides turn and things moving forward, and that our patience actually means something. We're going to want everything instantaneously. And if it's not instantaneous, we're going to get so mad at ourselves and just so discouraged and overwhelmed and just be way too much in our own heads, in our own way of seeing things. The repeat of the number 7 is saying keep things on the up and up. Not that you wouldn't, but 7 has a tendency to be called out, even if they do just the littlest mistruth. Like, it's not even a lie. You could say something just a little bit wrong because you didn't remember things correctly, and people will have something to say about it. So this is a time where you want to keep everything as forthright as possible and as honest as it should be. Yeah, because you don't want to share too much. That's what Spirit is saying, as honest as it should be. So let's see our chakra energy for this time. Spirit guide message for Sagittarius, Sagittarius. Spirit guide message for Sagittarius, Sagittarius. Angels and spirit guides, show me clearly. Guide this reading and show me clearly. We have right here psychic development, the third eye chakra. That's why things can be so hard in the public arena, because we are becoming more sensitive to the world around us. Our psychic development is increasing. Our connection with divinity is increasing. We're we're increasing during this time. The veil is being lifted just a bit, and we're starting to see things more openly, more honestly for ourselves, for where we want to be. Our connection with spirit is going to be really spot on during this time. So take in that connection, take in that understanding, take in that power. The third eye chakra is, you're going to have instincts. You're going to say like, oh, I saw that. And you're going to be using that kind of visual speech very, very often, where it's going to be, oh, I saw that. Oh, I see what you're saying. Oh, the imagery is going to be very intense. We're also going to be using very intensive imagery language, which there's a word for that, which I can't remember. If you can, put it in the description box below. Not the description box, the comment box. But there's just a sense of really needing to be at the heart of things, really needing to be able to describe things. And our world is going to be a little bit more vibrant for us. And that can be rather scary, because if you're not used to everything kind of having a meaning, everything having a symbol, everything having a power to it, it becomes overwhelming. And you'll just think, put on the brakes, let me stop. This is too much. And we see that in the public arena, where this can actually be one of the greatest gifts that we have, because we have this insight, we have this understanding, we have this passion, we have this power to things. Now let's look at the energy we have to be mindful of. What is the energy that Sagittarius needs to be mindful of? What is the energy that Sagittarius needs to be mindful of? Angels and spirit guides, show me clearly, guide this reading. Okay, so we have the Hermit, which is Virgo energy, time frame August 23rd to September 22nd. But this is, again, being too much in our own heads, cutting ourselves off from everybody else, and really just sitting in our own thoughts, kind of stewing. This is I'm seeing stewing right here. And what Spirit is saying is that Sagittarius, during this time, we are going to need to step back. We are going to need to look at things, but it's not going to be as intensely as we're really feeling it at this time, all right? So it's not kind of falling into our own thoughts. It's not falling into this hamster wheel of doubts and fears and angers and upsets. When something starts to bother us, we can start tapping about it, doing EMDR, meditating. There's just going to be this need to step back and connect with ourselves, but not fall into that trap of only the world that we have constructed within our own mind mattering. We might need to have a sounding board during this time, a family member, a friend that we talk to, that we kind of release things with, and we have a better understanding of the world around us because of this. And this really leads us, because at our root, we have the Ten of Cups. This leads us to our happily ever after. The fact that we are so intense, the fact that our psychic holistic development is happening here really brings us to this place where our inner child and our adult self start to merge together, where, because you have, the mirroring right here, where you have this sense of greater understanding. You have the sense of, well, this is my happiness. This is what brings me joy. This is what brings me greater understanding. This is what moves me forward. And it's not being selfish. It's looking at things and saying, well, this is right for me. It's like having a favorite food and then telling somebody, oh, this dish is absolutely delicious, and they taste it and they don't like it because their taste buds aren't like your taste buds. And that's going to be this time for us where we look at our happiness, and it's not going to be like somebody else's happiness. They could have something very different that they absolutely enjoy, absolutely love, absolutely lights their fire. But here we have to move forward for ourselves in the sense of, this is my heart, this is my soul, this is what I greatly desire. And it leads us to greater knowledge, a gift from God, Source, Spirit, however you see the divine, the universe. But because this is a spirit guide message, this is our spirit guide saying, I'm cutting through a lot of the doubts and the fears that have held us back. We're moving towards victory. We're moving towards success. We're moving towards the greater goal, the greater understanding, the greater sense of who we are and where it is that we want to be. And we start to cut through a lot of the nonsense. We start to cut through a lot of what has held us back before. And as we do so, we start to see and find our voice a little bit more. Now, this could have been a time where we have lost our voice. We lost what made us truly happy, and we tried to conform in a way that just didn't work. This isn't saying that we live in delusion. Sometimes we have to walk away from certain aspects of things, but this is saying that we are opening up our minds, we're opening up ourselves to ideas and brilliance and greater understandings that are coming our way, and that Spirit is going to be very interactive with us during this time. And it moves us to the Chariot. We're crowned with the stars. The heavens are guiding us. There is a sense here of the riddles of life leading us forward, our subconscious and our conscious mind saying a lot to us, but we're having to decode it as we move forward. There's also a sense of being the charioteer, being a person of great honor and status, and and a go-getter during this time. And we have to look at our greatest wishes, but we also have to hold that balance to not only falling into the realm of dreams, but there is going to be the sense of the realm of dreams being made into reality, being able to say, this is what I'm going to do, and show all the naysayers that they're wrong, that I can make it and I can move forward the way that I want to. And it moves us to the Page of Cups. It moves us to being inspired in a very real way. We're going to find inspiration from the oddest of places. Now, this can also be a young or a child who is a water sign energy, a Pisces, a Scorpio, a Cancer. They might say something that we start to look at things differently. We're like, oh my gosh, I never saw it like this, or I never thought of it like that. And now we're moving forward towards our goals. Our emotions are going to have a tendency to be a little bit sensitive, be a little bit kind of egotistical, because, children, the world is all about them. Everything just happens around them. And so during this time, we can be kind of childlike, and we can find ourselves going into emotions and into places where we're like, wow, this really reminds me of when I was little, this sort of thing, this sort of sensitivity coming up. And we need to see why. Why is this doing this to me? Like, why am I being dragged back to this time? What is it that is holding me in a place that my soul needs to address? It then brings us to the Nine of Cups. Emotionally, we're so busy guarding what we have that we're not taking in the beauty and the blessings and the wishes that are around us. We also don't see them as clearly as everybody else does. So when we're looking at things and thinking, I could do better, I can strive more, I could go after this better, we're going to find that, no, we need to step back. We need to step back and look at what we have and stop saying more is going to make everything better. Because sometimes looking at what we have and saying, okay, this is it. This is it. This is what I want. This is what I desire. This is what I need. How do I make that? That's really connecting us with the Ten of Cups right here. How do I connect to my happiness, to my joy, to my brilliance, to my greater understanding? And it leads us to the Nine of Cups in a very real way. It leads us to our dreams and our wishes. It leads us to our hopes. It leads us to a place where we stop being the guardian of everything and we start being the person who sees and understands and has a greater love and affection for where they want to be and what they want to develop. It leads us to the Queen of Cups. And the Queen of Cups is saying, this is my heart, this is my soul, and this is myself. Emotionally, what we're being told is to connect with our emotions as much as we want to fill the time up with doing and going and seeing and adventuring, or at least getting out of confined spaces. We're going to find ourselves needing to connect with our hearts. And why it says getting out of confined spaces, because I just see the vastness of our dreams opening up to us. And it's kind of like, my dreams can do more than maybe right now I can physically, or I can because of financial situations or whatever it is. And so it's starting to connect with the heart. It's starting to connect with the soul. And it's starting to see that there is more here than meets the eye. And they're starting to see that there's greater talents, there's greater prosperity, there's greater brilliance to me than what I had originally thought. And as I embrace this, and also as I embrace my heart and my nourishing and my nurturing, and I become part of the water, I become part of my soul and the fluid experience of life and dreams and brilliance, I see in the public arena where my fears lie. I see where I'm being held back. I see what is stopping me. I see what is keeping me from moving forward the way that I want to. And as I'm looking at what's holding me back, I'm looking at where I've made things bigger in my own mind than were in reality, where I listened to the naysayers, the haters, the people who were well-intentioned but had very small dreams or very negative aspects or views of their own life. That's what Spirit's saying. That I start to be able now to see where I've just been stuck, where I agreed, I'm tied up, I'm stuck, I can't move forward, I won't be able to. And this is a time where we realize the swords aren't there to cut us. They just aren't. If we backed into them, we would just be backing into metal. If we move forward, we could have been told, the water is before you, you step too far, you're going to drown. You're going to fall into the water and it's all going to be over. That's not the case. The case is that we can walk forward. There's just a bit of a stream. But when you take somebody else's word for it, when you start to look at how everybody else describes everything, and we stop seeing ourselves, that's when we start to get in trouble. That's when we become too much in our own heads. That's when we think, oh my gosh, this person knows more than me, this person understands more than me, and we start putting ourselves down, which leads us to not connecting with the beauty and the brilliance that is before us, or with the gift of the mind that is coming forward. But we have to be patient with ourselves. What we're going to want to do during this time is we're going to want to run. We're going to want to soar. We're going to want to fly. And Spirit is saying, be patient. Baby steps are important. And it's saying here that things happen in divine timing, not just when we want them to. So be patient, because you are moving forward in your inner self as the charioteer. You're moving things in such a way that power and prestige and, insight and dreams and desires really start to guide you. And they come from the most unlikely of places. The most unlikely of ideas really start to inspire and lead us in a way that really is brilliant. Now, our subconscious chakra message for this time is personal power. That's the solar plexus chakra. And the solar plexus are saying here, listen to your gut, listen, embrace your passion, embrace your power, embrace your brilliance, and see yourself moving forward. It leads us to the subconscious energy we are to be mindful of, and that's the Prince of Pentacles. It's moving everything down to money. It's being so focused on one goal that we don't see the interconnectedness of things, or we don't see that maybe that goal isn't right, or that dream, the way that we dreamt it, the way that we thought it was going to happen. So often, the way that we thought things were going to happen, that's not the way Spirit is saying, okay, here's your gift. Like, here's what you were born to do. So we have to open up our mind and say, how do I move forward emotionally, passionately, brilliantly? How do I embrace my heart, my soul, myself? And it leads us to our subconscious tarot message, which is the Three of Cups. We have to address our past. For me, the Three of Cups is always the person who was supposed to be celebrating us that just wasn't. And it kind of shows us more and more to be independent, to look at things, and to trust those who have earned our trust. The Three of Cups can be heartbreaking because people are supposed to be on our side, especially caregivers and siblings and, best friends or just friends. They're supposed to be on our side. But we've learned it's only to a certain extent. And now it's really looking at what we want and what we desire, and it's focusing on the people who really do raise their cups to us, really do celebrate us, but usually not in as flamboyant a way. So subconsciously, it's the negative thoughts that come in that want to ruin us, that want to say your dreams don't have validity, your passion can't be met, and that is just a bold-faced lie. All right, Sagittarius, I hope this reading has resonated with you. I wish you nothing but light, love, peace, and happiness. May harmony always be with you. I'm sending loving, healing energy to each and every one of you. I love you all, and stay safe. Let's end this reading with a meditation, a clearing away of negative energy, a raising of our positive energy as we connect beautifully and powerfully with Spirit. So take a nice deep breath in, exhaling whenever it feels comfortable for you. May you move forward in peace and in harmony, Sagittarius.